Hey guys, this is a segment from the Slumpbuster Podcast. You can find the full episode on any of the various podcast platforms, or of course, subscribe to us on YouTube for more of our content. Other than that, guys, sit down, bust a slump, and enjoy. Okay, that brings us to the Minnesota Vikings. So we've cracked jokes about Kirk Cousins before on this show too, and then Kirk Cousins actually had a pretty decent year, if we're being honest about it. He even had some light MVP consideration at points during the year. The problem is we always judge Kirk Cousins on either the final game of the year, which was the playoffs, where he came up short against the Niners, didn't even manage to throw over 100 yards in that game, or how he does on prime time when the most eyeballs and the most attention is on him. And in those moments, unfortunately for his career, he has shrunk. But that hasn't stopped teams from giving him a lot of money because the Washington football franchise – for 2 straight years, of course, gave him the franchise tag, which a whole lot of money there. And then back up the Brinks truck again because the Minnesota Vikings actually surprised everyone by giving him a contract extension. So they're basically signaling Kirk Cousins is our quarterback. We're going to keep him here for a while. And Kirk Cousins isn't offensive to have. Clearly, we've seen you can win with Kirk Cousins. It just, you're always stuck in the middle with him. You don't know really what you have. And I think that's probably one of the most frustrating things about being a team that has Kirk Cousins as your quarterback. You're not really good enough to ever get over the top, but you're not bad enough to where you can just say scrap the guy. So either way, Kirk Cousins is still going to be there. There's going to be a lot of new faces there this year. The Minnesota Vikings actually had 15 draft picks this year. They have a very talented rookie wide receiver in Justin Jefferson because they traded away Stephon Diggs to the Buffalo Bills this year. They released Xavier Rhodes, who was a longtime corner there, and one of the more notable faces of that defense. And Everson Griffin, who was also a big part of that defense, remains unsigned to this point. Wouldn't surprise me in a COVID year if they just managed to pick him up on a cheaper deal. But Dre, with the Vikings, they won this division they didn't win this division last year. They actually finished, if I'm not mistaken, 10-6. Where do you see this team finishing this year?
Yeah, maybe I'm giving a little bit too much credit to Kirk Cousins. Like you said, he usually shrinks in, those big time games or prime time. But I actually have him going 12-4 and winning the division this year.
I like that. I also have them winning the division. But I don't have them improving record-wise. I think 10-6 is surprisingly going to be enough to win this division. I think that these teams are just going to beat up on each other all year. It wouldn't surprise me if even the Detroit Lions managed to steal a conference or a division win from one of these top teams as well throughout the season. But it's going to be a tough dogfight between these 3 teams. And I think that each of these teams is going to lose to one of the others at least a couple times. So that's why I had a 10-6 record winning the division. I think Kirk Cousins, again, like I said, is going to be serviceable. He's going to be fine. He may even be a Pro Bowler this year. But do I think that he's going to be the defining factor that's going to make this team finish better? Well, it depends. Are they going to play the Saints in the playoffs again? I guess we'll have to see on that one. Okay, well, let's I don't know if we gave the Vikings enough credit or airtime. My bad, guys. My bad, Skol Nation. I don't know what more to say about your team. I like your team. I just don't know what more I can really add in there. I think probably the best thing I'll add in there is, again, 15 draft picks. They filled a lot of needs. Basically, they drafted a player at every single possible position where they might need someone. They might need a body. So one of the more impressive drafts I've ever seen in that regard.